this next moment, today we talk about securing the finance application. In the VMware environment, there is a critical finance application, access to which you must control. There are three virtual machines comprise the finance application. There are the finance web 1, finance app 1, finance DB1. You must control the communication between the tiers of application so that the traffic is only able to pass on defined ports, and between the tiers we have to make sure any source will be able to reach to the destination web finance on the port 443. And we also make sure the app source from the web will be able to reach out to the app on the port 80, and the app will be able to use my circle port 3306 to access the destination of a financial DB. We in previous lab defined the ESG, that's all network segments. We're allowing all virtual machine in EPGs, the different port groups, to communication freely. But this time we'll have to achieve this by defining 3 new ESGs for each tier of application and implementing contracts to secure the traffic flow. Then this is how we going to achieve this purpose. Direction represents the expected source, the consumer, destination, which is the provider traffic flow. We have to follow something. We have to do is run through this process. First, we'll have to create contractors and filters. And next, we wanted to assign the tags to the VM in the vCenter. Next, we want to create a tag matched endpoint security group ESG. So that's the tag we created and matched to the ESG. Next, we wanted to assign a contract to the finance ESG. Last, we want to enable the ping ICMP packet to all tiers. As you know, we have to create all these contracts. What is contract? Contract provide a way for Cisco ACI administrator to control traffic flow within ACI fabric between endpoint group EPGs and endpoint security groups ESGs. So these contracts are built using a provider and a consumer model, where one endpoint provide the service it wants to offer and other endpoint group consumes it. Contracts are assigned at a scope of, it can be a global, it can be a tenant, it can be a VIF, or it could be in the access point. Which limit the accessibility of the contract. Contracts are not needed for communication between endpoints in the same EPG. In brief, a contract consists of the one or more subjects. Each subject contains one or more filters. Each filter contains one or more entries. Each entry is equivalent to a line of access control list, which is the ACL. That is applied on leaf switch to which endpoints within the endpoint group is attached. The contracts are composed of contract. Of course, the contract is a logical container for subjects which contain the features that govern the rules for the communication between endpoint groups, EPG. And we have these subjects. So let me make it clear. Contract will have the subjects. Subjects will have the filters. Filter is used to classify the traffic that's based on layer 2 or layer 4 attributes, such as what is it, Ethernet type, protocol type, TCP FAC, and ports. And we have is the actions. Action is to be taken on filter the traffic. Let me clear that out. So in here we have the contract name, for each contract. Is a label helps me understand the purpose of the contract. For example, we have this the permit to finance web. Recommendation is to be explicit about the purpose of the contract. And we have contract subject is a managed object containing one or more contract filters. For example, we could use like a TCP, UDP, or ICMP, etc. Or you could be redirect. So recommendation is subject to protocol base. And then we have is the contract filter. Is a managed object containing one or more filter entries. For example, here we have this TCP source ending destination 80. So it is a single entry per filter. Then we have the filter. The filter, we could say it's clear and simple, just naming where the traffic from and it goes to. Let's create the filters. The filters are basically access control list, the ACLs, and containing one or more filters entry that specify the matching rule. I told you that. And I specify the source and the destination and the port range by using the from the first port number and to the last port number. I will create then filters for HTTP and HTTPS and my circle traffic. These 1, 2, 3 created these filters. So the filter name is intentionally descriptive to ensure its purpose is obvious. Go to my APIC and in this tenant, the cloud, and we'll have to expand the contract. We have to create a filter for HTTP traffic for any source. So this gonna be created for this contract. Okay. Find a filter, right click it, and create a new filter. Come to TCP SRC, ending to destination 80. And above the entry we wanted to add, it is going to be a name. TCP SRC ending DST 80 same, and ether type actually gonna be IP protocol, that's gonna be TCP. We wanted to use everything ending from the source ports to the destination, which is 80 with HTTP. Give it an update. In here, you could say 80 inside HTTP. It's predefined. That's okay. We'll make it 80, and we'll create a filter for HTTP traffic for ending source also. For this, let's just submit it. We have one filter. Create another one. Next one is HTTPS traffic for ending source. Let's do TCP SRC ending DST 443. Name, we want to use TCP SRC ending DST 443. Same thing, we want to use IP TCP port is 443 from 443 to 443. That's it. Submit. Now we have two contracts. We want then to create a filter for my circle traffic for ending source. So in here we create a 443 AT contract all done, and now is to create the my circle. Okay, create another one. This time we're going to say TCP SRC ending DST 3306, which is my circle, and TCP SRC ending DST 3306. That's IP TCP to the port 3306 to 3306. Update it, submit it. Three contracts were created. Three filters were created. This time we have to create a contract. The contract is to allow the traffic to pass the application VMs. The contract allows the traffic to pass over. First, we are to use 80. We define the traffic flow, then we are use the contract to define the action and the subject. Okay, we define a contract, right click it, create a contract. This contract we want to say permit to finance app. So what we have to do is the contract permit finance app. Click the subject. We wanted to create a subject. Well, it's TCP, just say TCP, and the filter. We have defined the filter. That's gonna be TCP source ending and destination 80. Update, OK, and submit. Now contract permit to finance app is created. We have created this permit to finance app contract, this right here. This is created. Okay, next we wanted to create is permit to finance DB. Permit to finance DB. This filter was created already. So create a new contract. Say that's gonna be permit to finance DB. Add a subject. TCP future. Well, let's find out the DB ports. Click OK, submit. This adder contract, we add another contract to allow traffic to pass to the web VM, which is the contract permit to finance web. Okay, permit to finance web. Add subject TCP secure and follow the 443. Submit. Okay, so communication for ending to my web server, finance web server, is gonna go on the 443. We need a search, we need a security encryption, and internally we just use AT to access my app server. And for the DB is back end, then that's the 3306. 3 contract created. Awesome. Now expand my standard contract. I'm seeing 3 contracts listed here. We would like next to assign the tags to the VM in the vCenter, and the tags and attributes allow me to attach the metadata to objects in the vSphere inventory to make it easier to sort and search for these objects. So use these to control membership of endpoint ESG in ACI. What I mean in here, say we use a function tag. Say we have a tag called a function. Function tag. This tag will associate it to VM specific to the roles. Role. We have role. We have what role? We have web role. We have app role. We have DB role. In our finance application here, this function tag is where we are going to assign to these virtual machines. Now in my vCenter, logging again, we would like to click this here, vCenter here, the hamburger menu to open the tags and custom attributes. 3 tags have been already defined. You could define later if you want. That's app, DB, web. That's okay. Just category is a function in the function, right? What you could do is add this and create a category, function, and tags. App, DB, web. Okay. Let's now go to the inventory. Go to VM and templates. It's this one, this tab, okay? And expand it. What I want to see is finance app 1, the first one, finance app 1. Right click it to it and go down here. Tag and custom attributes, we're gonna assign, well, this app, so we'll assign to an app tag. Go to the VM here, scroll down, you will see the tag is assigned in categories function. Secure, we would like to assign the DB tag to finance DB. All finance, we have to assign a tag and go tag and customer assigned DB tag for my finance DB virtual machine. And to verify that, just a little bit down here, DB tag is unassigned, and my web virtual machine, that's web assigned to it. Scroll down, tag is assigned. Now we have to create ESG endpoint security groups to match the tags. What I mean is, we would like to create a new AP that's called My Finance App. We already created two. That's okay. Keep creating one. That's gonna be, say, finance. Just submit it. We have finance. Okay. Let's expand this finance AP, and we're gonna right click to ESG, create an ESG, and create an ESG called app. Okay, of course, same VIF. Next, in the selector, okay, we would like to select a tag. Add a tag. In the tag key, say here, that in order to match the VM name, we're going to use what is function. Okay, and the key, we'll have to tap the key, that's gonna equal to app. Click OK. Okay. So just be careful, these are the case sensitive and must exactly match the tags in the vCenter. Just double check it again, your tags, app, okay, app, that's function, tag key. Okay, let's repeat the process to create a separate ESG. Okay, next, create next ESG, that's gonna call DB VF selector function DB, double check the name, capital DB, capital case DB. Okay, next, web ESG. This way we can find out more virtual machines, function, and web. Next. In here we'll create 3 ESG. These is going to match our virtual machines with the tags also assigned. And next we wanted to assign a contract to the finance ESGs. First we want to do is the contract. Let me clear this up. Want to recap of what I've done. We create contract. We create a contract filters also. Contract. Right. We create ESG matching with the tag. The tags we have to matching the virtual machines tags. We create ESG app, ESG web. This is all done, right? For the next, we want to expand the DB. DB here is gonna be a consume, right? Consume contract. Consume provider is gonna be a provider. I'm sorry. Here is going to be a provider, and on the app ESG is going to become a consumer contract, consumer finance DB. We're going to make a list line together. So on the DB contract we'll add a provided contract, That's gonna be a DB. Who's gonna consume it? My app. Consume this contract, the DB. Okay, it's very delicate work, and we made this line contract work. Next, we wanted to make sure the app is the provider for this contract finance app. Okay, go to app. We want to provide a contract in the app, and my web is ESG. We're gonna to consume it, consume the app. So this traffic is through the contract assigned already. For the next, we want to make this line linked. First, let's figure it out. This is the other AP, and the ESG is a network segment. Then this is going to be consume a contract restricted communication to the web 443 to my other AP finance web servers. So how do I do this? Normally we're going to go to my network segment and see the ESG, no ESG. This the EPG match security group. Let me make sure I'm going to the right AP, disk AP. Okay, this EPG match security group. I should have a single ESG, that is network segment. Okay, we're going to consume, not provided, consume a contract permit finance to web, submitted. And go back to my web, and here we're going to provide my finance web contract. This I've all done, and it's not intuitive. So the traffic is now restricted between 3 tiers. And this should be here. 3 tiers of finance application. This is the front end, this is the middleware, and this is the back end. Web, app, DB, 3 tiers. But the web front end is accessible over HTTPS for any endpoints in the network segments, right? And we can make very intuitive is the APIC will provide us a topology view. Click the finance AP, go to topology. Let's make it more straight lined. Here you go. Now it looks very clear how the 3 tiers ESG gonna work in the finance application. DB is a consumer, is a provider to the contract of finance DB, and app is consumer for this DB finance contract, and my web is a provider for the web for the finance web to the network segments, which is the consumer, and it's all web ESG is also the consumer for the app, and this is clearly showing in the topology. In the last, we will actually enable the ICMP to all finance VMs. So this ICMP will be allowed among these finance virtual machines. Now that ESGs, contracts, and so on are all in place, it is straightforward to enable more ports to our finance VM. I must add an additional, say, filter ICMP to the relevant contract. To interact with this, I will enable ICMP to each of tiers and use per defined ICMP filter in a common tenant. So in the APEC, we would like to add ICMP to finance app contract. So how do I do that? We'll have to go to my contract here, and on TCP, and we'll click add filter is ICMP permit submit. Next, we'll add TCP to ICMP to my finance DB. Add this filter per defined ICMP permit submit. TCP add ICMP submit. I have ICMP enabled between finance application ESGs. Perfect. Look here. We make all the dots connected.
Hey everyone, NetMaven here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to dive into the world of amazing network technologies with me, and please feel free to leave your comments below. Hey everyone, NetMaven here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to dive into the world of amazing network technologies with me, and please feel free to leave your comments below.